What separates you from wealth is not what you imagine. Are you tired of working hard and still there's never enough money? Does it seem like the more you run, the more it slips away? What if I told you that what's stopping you from getting rich isn't a lack of opportunities, but the way you think? Yes, the key to wealth is not out there. It's in your mind. Today, in this video, I'll show you how to attract more money by changing your internal frequency. And no, this isn't about magic formulas or ready-made phrases. It's about aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with what you truly desire. So I'm going to ask you something few people do: subscribe to the channel now. But not just for me. Do it for yourself. Because this simple gesture already signals to the universe that you're different. That you're ready to change. That you have a growth mindset. And believe me, the universe responds to those who commit. Now, an important warning: only those who stick around until the end of this video demonstrate that they have a mindset truly aligned with the goal of getting rich. Because those who give up halfway through, give up on life. But those who stick it out, reap the rewards. If you're that kind of person, then take a deep breath. And come with me. Because today, everything can start to change. Chapter 1: The Power of Inner Alignment. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, but the money just wasn't coming? Like something was always blocking the flow? Maybe the problem isn't what you do, but how you do it. Feel inside. The truth is, wealth doesn't start in your bank account, it starts in your mind. And more specifically, in your inner alignment. You may be working hard, trying everything, but if your internal system vibrates scarcity, worry, and fear, that's exactly what you'll continue to attract. And calm down, we're not talking about magic. We're talking about a proven mental and energetic principle. You attract what you are emotionally aligned with. It's like a radio station. You only hear the right music when you tune in to the right frequency. With money, it's the same thing. Let's take the example of Jennifer, an administrative assistant from Ohio. For years, she told herself, "I'm not good with money." Every time she paid a bill, she felt angry and anxious. Result? Even while working, she lived on edge. One day, she decided to do an experiment. For 30 days, she rewrote her inner story. Instead of complaining, she began saying out loud, "I'm prosperous. Money comes easily." At first, it seemed silly. But something changed. 3 weeks later, she was called for an interview she hadn't even remembered having. She landed a new job with a 40% raise and a starting bonus. Coincidence? Maybe, or maybe she finally tuned into the frequency of abundance. Now, hold this: Jason, from California, sold car parts online. He earned little, barely enough to pay the rent. Until one day, he heard something on a podcast that stuck with him: you can't attract what you don't believe you deserve. That night, he wrote on his bathroom mirror, "I am worthy of wealth." Every day, when he woke up, he read that sentence. He began improving his photos, offering extended warranties, and writing more empathetic descriptions. 2 months later, his sales doubled. Within 6 months, he had opened his own store. It all started by changing the simplest belief: deservingness. And we also have the Linda, from Atlanta. A single mother of 2, she was stressed out by debt and blamed herself for not being able to provide a better life for her children. A YouTube video talked about how guilt blocks the flow of money. She cried. That was her. She decided to forgive herself and repeat every day, "I'm doing the best I can." And that's enough. She started a small business selling healthy lunchboxes. At first, she sold 2 a day. A year later, she's serving 4 businesses in the area. Everything changed when she stopped sabotaging herself internally. See the pattern? It wasn't luck. It was alignment. Thought, emotion, and action working together. And that is exactly where most people go wrong. Some people think about money, but feel fear. Others talk about abundance, but act as if they're broke. And this misalignment generates resistance, blockages, lack. So, if you want to start attracting money, your priority is not to chase it. It's tune and eliminate guilt, doubt, and self-pity. and instead, cultivate the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of someone who is already prosperous. Because you don't attract what you desire, you attract what you and. Want a simple test? Stop right now and answer this. How would you feel if you had $100,000 in your account right now? Feel it. Breathe in that feeling. If there's fear, doubt, distrust, your work begins there. In the next chapter, I'll show you how to turn this new mindset into a real financial manifestation plan. But first, ask yourself this question: do you truly believe you deserve to be rich? Because it all starts with that answer. And it needs to come from within. Chapter 2, Visualization is not dreaming, it is mental programming. Maybe you've heard it said, just visualize what you want and everything will happen. And then, when you tried, nothing changed. Frustrating, right? Because no one explained it to you as really visualize, and why it works. Visualizing isn't daydreaming, it's training your brain to accept a new reality before it exists. Neuroscience has already proven this. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one intensely imagined. If you close your eyes right now and imagine biting into a lemon, your body reacts. It salivates, the muscles in your mouth contract. Why? Because your mind believes it's real. Now, if this happens with a lemon, imagine with money. If you visualize your bank statement full every day, paying off your debts, traveling with your family, donating, investing, your brain begins to accept this reality as possible. And when it does, your body and your actions change. Your behavior adjusts. And then, the world responds. But there's one catch. Effective visualization isn't about seeing images, it's about to feel these images. What do you feel when you see that positive extract? How does your breathing change? Your mood? Your decisions? Let's put this into practice. Remember Jennifer, whom we mentioned in the previous chapter? She didn't just repeat phrases. She saw, felt, and mentally lived her new life. She imagined going to the bank smiling, buying without looking at the price, feeling at peace for not owing anything. This to feel is the secret code of manifestation. And if you think this is just idle chatter, know that Olympic athletes have been using visualization for decades. Michael Phelps, the greatest medalist in history, visualized every second of his race before jumping into the pool. Every stroke. Every turn. He trained mentally even on rest days. The result? He reacted accurately even when his goggles filled with water. Because he'd seen it happen before, and won in his mind. And so I ask you, have you seen your victory with this clarity? If not, maybe that's why she hasn't arrived yet. Here's a powerful exercise. Close your eyes for a minute. Imagine your ideal self. Rich. Free. Peaceful. Walking the streets of your city with ease. Feel how they walk. How they talk. How they look into your eyes. Now, here's the secret. Start acting like that you starting today. You don't need to fake anything. You don't need to buy a new car. But you can dress with more dignity. Take better care of your home. Speak more firmly. Make clearer decisions. This is true manifestation, when the external begins to reflect the internal. What you're feeling right now, is it bringing you closer or further away from the life you want? Because viewing is free, but powerful. And if you commit for 30 days, your brain begins to understand that what seemed far away, was actually always within your reach. In the next chapter, I'll show you how to write your goal with surgical precision. Because without clarity, there is no manifestation. Now take a deep breath. Feel it. And remember this, you won't attract what you imagine superficially, but what you feel intensely. Chapter 3, write what you want. With clarity, with courage, with commitment. Some people dream of more money. Others decide how much they want. And here lies one of the most overlooked keys to manifestation, clarity. Most people say they want to get rich, but what does that mean for you? Having $1 million in the bank? Living off your income? Having the freedom to say no to a toxic boss? Buying that house with a balcony? Taking your kids to Disney World? If you don't define your goal, your brain has nowhere to go. Without a clear goal, your mind wanders, and so does the universe. And that's where the power of writing comes in. Writing is declaring. It's taking the dream out of your head and putting it on paper. It's saying, this is what I want. This is why I'm here. Look, it doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be specific and emotional. For example, I have $250,000 saved, free, in my account until December 2026. I feel calm, secure, and grateful. This money gives me the freedom to choose whatever I want for myself and my family. See the difference? It's not just about the number. It's about what that number represents. Security, freedom, peace. And when you write it like this, you send a clear message to your brain and to the universe. Let's remember Jason, the auto parts salesman. When he decided to change his reality, the first thing he did was write down how much he wanted to make per month, $10,000 net. He wrote it on the wall, on the mirror, on his phone. Each time he read it, his focus sharpened, and his brain began to find pathways. New ideas emerged. Strategies that previously seemed invisible. Because now he had clarity, and clarity is direction. It's no wonder that great business people, athletes, artists, they all write down their goals. They know that without direction, even a luxury car won't get you anywhere. Now, here comes the most important part. Don't write it down and put it away in a drawer. Carry it with you. Read it every morning. Before bed. Read it like someone who already owns it. With gratitude. With anticipation. Because this paper isn't magic, it's a reminder. A daily command to your brain. And the more you read, the more you believe. And the more you believe, the more you act. And then, the money comes. Want another tip? Also, write down how you'll feel when you achieve this. Because the brain responds to feeling. Write phrases like, I feel safe, free, at peace. Feel those words. Because the money you want is actually the feeling it will give you. So feel it now. Linda, our friend from Atlanta, did just that. She wrote, I want to make $5,000 a month from my healthy food business. But she didn't stop there. She wrote, with this money, I'll be able to work less, spend more time with my kids, and feel at peace. That motivated her. And when the opportunity arrived, she was ready. Now it's your turn. Take a card. Write a single goal. Clear. Defined. Specific. It's not, I want to be rich. It's, I want to earn X amount by such and such a date, by this, this, and this. Read it daily. Carry it with you. Align your words, your actions, your energy, with this paper. In the next chapter, we'll talk about what's stopping you from attracting money even with good intentions, and how to remove these internal resistances once and for all. But for now, answer me, have you written down your goal today? Because if you haven't written, you haven't really started yet. Chapter 4, Your inner resistances are sabotaging you. Have you ever wondered why it seems so difficult to attract money, even when you're trying to do everything right? You affirm, visualize, and write down your goals, but the results still don't come? Maybe the problem isn't outside, but inside you. Every person has something called internal resistance. These are hidden beliefs, old programming, that act as invisible barriers. They're phrases you've heard since childhood and that have become engraved in the back of your mind. Things like, money is dirty. Rich people don't go to heaven. It's not right to want too much. I'm not good enough. And the worst part, often you don't even know you believe this. But the universe doesn't respond to what you consciously want, it responds to your vibration. And if, deep down, you believe that money is dangerous, that you don't deserve it, or that having too much will alienate you from others, you'll sabotage it without realizing it. Let's be honest, how many times have you had a good idea and not acted on it? How many times have you had an opportunity and let it pass you by? That's not bad luck, that's self-sabotage. Linda, whom we've mentioned before, is a good example. Before opening her lunchbox business, she tried several projects and always gave up halfway through. When asked what she feared most, she replied, "Being criticized by my family. They always said selling food was humiliating." Therein lay her resistance. It wasn't a lack of talent. It was a fear of judgment. And as long as that fear ruled, nothing prospered. She only began to grow when she decided to face it head-on. She did a simple but powerful exercise. Every day for 10 minutes, she wrote phrases like, "I released the fear of being judged. It's safe for me to succeed. My worth doesn't depend on the approval of others." Within 3 weeks, she started to feel different. And this was reflected in her results. So, if you want to attract money, you must first release what is blocking the flow. Stop for a moment and ask yourself honestly, what thoughts are telling me I can't or shouldn't get rich? Write them all down. No filter. Then read them out loud and say, "This is no longer mine. I choose to let go." This may sound silly, but it's liberating. Another practical way is to observe your emotions. Do you feel guilty about spending on yourself? Are you envious of those who prosper? Are you afraid to talk about money? These are all clues to your resistance. And here's a hard truth: if you don't cleanse these roots, no method will work for long. You might attract money for a while, but you'll lose it. Or feel guilty. Or make some excuse to push it away. Therefore, true manifestation begins with healing. And healing requires awareness and intention. In the next chapter, I'll show you how to think like a millionaire, even before you make your first million. And why this mindset is what changes everything. But first, let this question sink in: what do I need to let go of, to let the money in? Chapter 5, Think like a millionaire before you are one. Do you know what the most common mistake is for those trying to attract money? Expecting change to come from outside. Most people think, when I have money, then I'll feel secure. Then I'll invest. Then I'll act with confidence. But it's exactly the opposite. You'll only have real money when you start thinking like someone who already has it. That's the millionaire mindset. And it starts before your bank balance changes. Think about it. If you feel poor, act fearfully, make insecure decisions, and constantly wait for something external to validate you, your brain records, "I'm needy." And this identity controls everything. You start avoiding risks, avoiding exposure, procrastinating decisions, and guess what? You're still broke. Now, when you change your identity, everything changes. It's like Jason. Before he became successful selling auto parts, he acted like someone who didn't believe in his own product. He priced things too low. He was afraid of appearing expensive. He apologized for charging shipping. When he decided to change his mindset, everything started to change. He thought, how would a millionaire business owner think about this? And then, he started acting accordingly. He redesigned his store. He improved his branding. He added a guarantee. And most importantly, he started respecting himself. That's thinking like a millionaire. And remember, it's not about showing off. It's not about spending what you don't have. It's about attitude. It's about energy. It's about understanding that money won't change who you are, it will amplify you. So start now. Ask yourself in every situation, if I already had $1 million, how would I respond to this? This question is magical. Because it takes you out of the survival mindset and puts you in the creation mindset. Here are 3 practical changes. First, millionaires have clarity. They know where they want to go. They don't wake up on autopilot. They have vision. If you don't have a plan yet, you're just reacting to life. Second, they make decisions quickly. They don't get stuck in doubt for days. They understand that time is more valuable than money. Making mistakes quickly is better than not acting at all. Third, they take care of what they already have. It doesn't matter if it's $50 or $500. They know that prosperity begins with gratitude. Those who don't appreciate the little will never have much. You know that saying, fake it till you make it? Here, the idea is different. It's not faking it, it's embody incorporate the energy, mindset, habits, and discipline of those who are already successful. Because your mind needs evidence. It needs practice. And every small action sends a signal. You don't need a million to think like a millionaire. But you do need to think like one, for that million to come. In the next chapter, I'll show you how to use inspired action to your advantage. How to move beyond the realm of ideas, and make the universe react concretely to your movement. For now, just ask yourself this: are my actions today those of someone who is already rich? If the answer is no, you know where to start. Chapter 6: Inspired action is the link between desire and manifestation. Many people believe that the law of attraction is just thinking, visualizing, and waiting. As if the universe were a genie in a bottle, ready to deliver everything to your door. But the truth is, without action, nothing manifests. But it's not just any action. It's inspired action. Inspired action is when you feel a genuine impulse to do something, even without knowing exactly why. It's that idea that comes out of nowhere, that urge to send an email, call someone, make a change, and when you act, things flow. It's the universe saying, go this way. But there's a catch. You only hear this intuition when you're in alignment. When your mind is clear. When you're not trapped in doubt, fear, or rushing. That's why meditation, silence, and pauses are so important in the manifestation process. It's not about doing more, it's about listening better. Let's revisit Jennifer's story. Remember how she began to affirm and visualize a new reality? One morning, after meditating, she had a realization: to update her resume and send it to a specific company. It didn't make sense at the time, but she did it. 2 weeks later, the company called her for an interview. A month later, a new job, a higher salary, a better environment. Was it magic? No. It was inspired action. The problem is that many people ignore this impulse. Or worse, they rationalize it until they kill the idea. Oh, it doesn't make sense. Oh, I'll see later. I'm not ready yet. And then, you miss the window. Therefore, your role is this: be ready to act when you feel it. And yes, sometimes it will seem small. Like changing your profile bio. Calling an old friend. Posting something you're embarrassed about. Opening a spreadsheet. Starting that course you've been putting off for months. But that's how it works. The universe responds to movement. Here's a powerful technique. It's called the 5 seconds of courage. When an idea comes to you, count to 5 and act. If you don't act within 5 seconds, your rational mind will sabotage it. It will make excuses. It will hold you back. But if you act quickly, you create momentum. And momentum breeds more action. Another important point. Inspired action doesn't mean perfection. It means truth. Maybe you start a project and it doesn't work out. But that will take you to the next step. Action generates clarity. Clarity generates confidence. And confidence generates results. Do you want manifestation? Then act. Start small. Organize your finances. Open a new account. Research investments. Record a video. Post an idea. Do something that aligns with your goal. And do it with presence. Millionaires don't wait for the right moment. They create the right moment with consistent action. In the next chapter, I'll show you the power of environment. And why the place, people, and stimuli around you can accelerate or destroy your manifestation. But now, just ask yourself, what action is my soul asking me to do, and that I'm ignoring? Do it today. Chapter 7, is your environment speeding you up or holding you back? Have you ever tried to change your life, but felt like something was holding you back? Maybe it's not a lack of willpower. Maybe the problem is your environment. Your environment is like the soil where you plant your goals. If it's toxic, dense, or negative, your seed won't grow. Or worse, it grows crooked. And when we talk about environment, it's not just the physical place. It's what you see, hear, and feel every day. It's what consumes your attention. It's what influences your decisions. Think about it. How can you manifest wealth if you're surrounded by people who constantly complain about life, who say rich people are thieves, who think earning money is a sin? How will you attract abundance if you spend your day watching tragedy, gossip, and empty memes? How will you prosper if your home is messy, dirty, and disorganized? The mind needs space and stimulation. It needs order. It needs direction. Take Linda, our friend from Atlanta, for example. When she started changing her reality, one of her first actions was to organize her home. She cleaned out closets, donated old clothes, created a reading nook, stopped watching the news, posted positive quotes around the house. She created a new environment and, with it, a new identity. This may seem small, but it's not. You behave according to the environment you live in. And if the environment tells you you're messy, defeated, lazy, that's what your mind will reinforce. Now, if you wake up and see phrases like "I am prosperous," "money flows easily," if you listen to audios that empower you, if you walk through a house that makes you proud, your vibration changes. And money senses it. You know Jason? Before his sales skyrocketed, he made a simple change. He changed his workspace. He left his chaotic bedroom and set up a small space in the basement. He added good lighting, ambient music, a pleasant scent. He created a morning ritual. His productivity soared. And more importantly, his self-esteem, too. You don't need to live in a mansion to create an environment of prosperity. But you do need to treat your space as if it were sacred. Because it is. It's where your mind lives. And the mind needs order to manifest. Here's a practical challenge. Set aside 30 minutes today. Organize a corner. It could be your desk, your bedroom, or your bathroom. Clean. Throw away what's no longer useful. Add something new. A plant. A candle. A book. Something that says, "Here lives someone who respects themselves." Then, look at it every day. Feel the difference. Notice how it changes your energy. Because it really does. And when your energy changes, your decisions change. And then, your life begins to respond. In the next chapter, we'll discuss the power of repetition. And why repeating the right thing, the right way, is what turns intention into results. But for now, look around. Does your current environment represent who you want to become? If it doesn't represent, change today. Chapter 8, Repetition is what turns desire into reality. Have you ever wondered why it seems so difficult to change an old pattern? You start out excited, visualizing, writing down goals, and after a few days, you're back on autopilot. The answer lies in one word: repetition. Your brain doesn't change with motivation. It changes with consistency. Everything that repeats itself becomes natural. And everything that's natural becomes behavior. Therefore, anyone who wants to attract money needs to train their mind like a muscle. Every day. Without exception. Repetition isn't just saying phrases. It's living them over and over again. It's making daily choices that sustain the new reality. It's transforming thought into practice. Practice into habit. Habit into identity. Need an example? Let's go back to Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer. He trained more than 6 hours a day, but he also visualized his races mentally. Every day. Even on weekends. Even on bad days. For years. The result? He developed such a solid internal pattern that when his goggles failed in an Olympic final, he won even without being able to see. Why? Because he had already swum that race 1,000 times in his mind. Now bring this to your financial life. Do you want to attract wealth? Then start repeating this in your behavior. Visualize it every day. Read your goal with intention. Speak like someone who already has it. Act like someone who already has it. Choose like someone who already has it. And repeat. 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 Here's an important point: you'll get tired. You'll forget. You'll think it's not working. And then, you'll want to stop. And that's exactly where the magic happens for those who noto. Think of it this way: when you plant a seed, the first few days show nothing. The soil remains the same. But underneath, the roots are forming, growing, strengthening. And one day, it sprouts. Manifestation works the same way. You plant with thought. You water with emotion. You nourish with action. You protect with repetition. Want to know a common pattern among wealthy people? They have rituals. They don't start their day in chaos. They have discipline. They speak with intention. They feed their minds with quality content. And they repeat this until it becomes part of who they are. Jason, for example, created the habit of reviewing his goal every day at 6 a.m. It didn't matter if he'd had little sleep or if he was feeling discouraged. He would read it out loud, close his eyes, visualize it, and take a step that day. Today, he says this simple habit was the key. So here's some straightforward advice: create a daily ritual. Short. Realistic. Repeatable. It could be 5 minutes in the morning. Or 10 minutes before bed. Pick a time. Repeat often. Make it a commitment. In the next chapter, we'll talk about money, and why you need to stop running away from it. We'll treat money as energy. And as a partner. But for now, ask yourself, what I'm repeating today, is it getting me where I want to go? Because your life, in the end, is a reflection of the things you repeat. Chapter 9, Stop running away from money. It wants to be your partner. Do you want to attract money, but feel uncomfortable just talking about it? Are you nervous about charging, pricing, or receiving? Are you embarrassed to say you want to get rich? Then maybe, you're treating money like an enemy. And here's a truth that may shock you: you will never attract what you reject. Money, like everything in life, is energy. And all energy has a frequency. If you vibrate judgment, shame, or fear around money, it senses it. It doesn't come near. Because it doesn't want conflict. It wants partnership. You know that person who's always saying, money isn't everything, I just want enough, I don't need much to be happy? They might even be sincere, but usually, it's hiding a fear. Fear of not getting it. Fear of seeming greedy. Fear of being rejected for wanting more. And then, they protect themselves by rejecting people before they run out. But here's the point: you can be spiritual, generous, ethical, and prosperous at the same time. One thing doesn't cancel out the other. In fact, money enhances who you already are. If you're good, you'll do more good. If you're ethical, you'll create more justice. If you're generous, you'll help many more people. The problem isn't money. It's what people project onto it. Want an example? Linda, before thriving with her healthy food business, was afraid to charge. She felt guilty just setting prices. She thought charging fairly was exploiting others. The result? She worked twice as much, earned little, and was exhausted. One day, she wrote a phrase on the mirror: "Money is my ally." Every day, she read it. She began to see money as an energy that amplified her purpose. And then, things changed. She raised her prices. She improved her service. Her customers stayed, and she began to thrive with ease. Here's a practical exercise. Grab a sheet of paper. Write down all the negative phrases you've ever heard or repeated about money. Then, next to each one, write a new belief. For example, money doesn't buy happiness, money expands my freedom to be happy. Rich people don't go to heaven. Wealth is a spiritual tool when used well. I wasn't born for this. I can learn to thrive at any time in life. And here's the secret: read these new phrases every day. Until your subconscious begins to accept them. Because it will. With repetition and emotion, it changes. Money is like a loyal friend. It wants to be with those who value, respect, and care for it. Not with those who blame, reject, or ignore it. And you can choose now how you will relate to it. In the next chapter, we'll talk about how to keep your energy high, even on difficult days. Because you won't attract wealth if you're always exhausted, anxious, or lost. But for now, just think about this: if money were a person, how would it feel around you? Chapter 10: High vibration attracts high prosperity. You can have clear goals, good intentions, consistent habits, but if your energy is low, nothing flows. Because in the end, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you vibrate. And vibration isn't just mystical talk. It's pure science. Your body emits frequencies. Your emotions alter those frequencies. And the vibration you maintain creates a field around you. This field affects decisions, attracts opportunities, repels or invites money. And yes, it's real. Now, think about it. What happens when you spend days complaining? Comparing yourself constantly? Living with anger, guilt, and shame? Your energy plummets. And when that energy drops, manifestation stalls. Wealth requires expansion. And expansion requires high energy. But here's the point: it's not about being happy all the time. That would be impossible. It's about choosing elevated emotions, despite of circumstances. It's about not letting the environment define your internal state. Let's remember Jennifer. During a difficult time, when it seemed like nothing was working, she decided to maintain a gratitude ritual. Every day, she wrote down 5 good things. Even if small. Even if repeated. That changed everything. Because where your attention goes, your energy goes. And where your energy is, your future lies. Gratitude is the quickest shortcut to high vibration. But there's more. Music also alters your vibration. Movement. Breathing. Eating. Reading. What you consume shapes your frequency. And your frequency shapes your destiny. Here's a quick checklist to keep your vibration high. 1. Take care of your body. Sleep, eat well, breathe deeply. A tired body doesn't sustain the energy of prosperity. 2. Move every day. Walk, stretch, dance. Stagnant energy becomes stagnation. 3. Surround yourself with positive stimuli. Audios, videos, books, phrases, people who lift you up. 4. Avoid conversations that drain you. Protect your field. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. 5. Practice presence. Paying attention to the now is what anchors you in the right frequency. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to choose. And renew that choice every day. Because manifestation isn't an event, it's an ongoing state of alignment. And remember, money is an energy of movement, expansion, and exchange. If you're vibrating scarcity, it moves away. If you're vibrating worthiness, clarity, and action, it moves closer. In the next section, we'll move on to the conclusion. I'll tie it all together and show you what to do in the next 30 days to make all of this a reality. But first, answer honestly, are you taking care of your energy with the same dedication that you take care of your goals? Because energy is what makes everything possible. Conclusion: the decision is yours. The power is already yours. You have 2 choices: continue to be in doubt, or decide today that you will transform your financial life with your mind. You don't need miracle formulas. You need clarity, alignment, a true commitment to who you want to become. Because your external reality will always be a reflection of what's happening inside. You learned that everything starts with a clear goal, that visualization only works when accompanied by emotion, that internal resistance needs to be cleared, that thinking like a millionaire comes before the money arrives, that inspired action moves the universe, that your environment can accelerate or hinder your progress, that repetition is what transforms, that money wants to be your partner, and that your vibration commands everything. This is the map. Now it's your turn. So here's your next step: Comment below what the most valuable information from this video was. This shows the universe that you're ready to receive. It shows that you've absorbed, that you're in motion. And more. Write the word alignment in the comments. This will be our secret password to identify who stayed until the end. Only those who are truly committed will write. And this, the universe also observes. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now's the time. Because even that's a way to declare your intention. People with a prosperous mindset surround themselves with content that empowers them. And just subscribing is already a statement, I am ready to prosper. See you in the next video. Until then, keep your mind rich. And the money will come.